Hi guys, so this week we're going to learn about implied ideas. What is it? It's the terms drawing conclusions, making inferences. They're the same thing, they mean the same thing. It means taking some reading or something you see or hear and then forming your own thoughts and opinions about it. It can mean analyzing something from a symbol, understanding why characters or people behave the way they do. Okay? You do this every day. When your friend is acting out of the ordinary, you can probably ask them what's wrong. Like you notice that there's something going wrong with them, even if they don't say anything. When your parents look at you a certain way, you can know if they're angry with you or if they're happy with you. We take all of these things on the daily and we make inferences about a million times a day without even thinking about it. But what do these questions look like? So, these questions on the SAT will look like the lines 22 through 23 serve two, so they're asking you, what are they trying to do for you here? It can be reasonably inferred from the passage that, so they're saying, you read this, now what conclusions are you drawing? What does the author suggest about information from the passage? So they're just saying, like, now that you read a whole article about anti-abortion, you could probably conclude that the person who wrote the article is conservative. The passage implies that. So what is the passage implying? Kind of the same question. If the whole passage is statistics about coronavirus and how it's very easily caught from person to person, the passage probably implies that whoever wrote this believes that coronavirus is very easily caught or that it's a big problem. The statements in line 12 through 14 nearly imply, or most nearly implies that. Based on the information in the passage, it can be reasonably concluded that, and according to the passage, the author believes. Notice these are all pretty much the same. They're asking you, you read the passage, what is the author saying? You read the passage, what is the passage saying? It's asking you to take what it says and move it to the next level without it having to actually state it. Strategies on how to do well with this. When dealing with an implied idea, you need to choose the best option of the four, and by doing that, you use process of elimination. Which of these four is it absolutely not? And usually there's one at least that is absolutely the wrong answer. Be careful not to choose an answer just because you recognize words and phrases you saw in the passage. This is a trick. They want you to pick something that you saw in the passage. Well, most of the time, if it's an implied idea, it means that you already can recognize it on your own and they don't have to state it. For example, if somebody walks into my class late and I'm in the middle of explaining something and I glare at them, the implied message is don't interrupt me and I don't like that you're late. I don't have to say it, you know what I'm thinking. So these are implied things. It doesn't mean that it's said. And number two, when line numbers are provided on a question, go back and read that. And go back and read a couple sentences before. Because usually if you can read at least a couple sentences or a sentence before, that sentence after, it can give you a better idea how to answer the question. So here is a practice, like we do each time. Here's a practice one. Your tech is spying on you. Whether you believe this to be a conspiracy theory or a simple truth, there are many ways various companies use your technology to their advantage. For advertisers, it's getting easier to specifically target you and your interests thanks to data your computer and phone collect. For example, if you browse for a new tablet, your tech feeds information to ad companies that then ensure ads appear in your browser or in apps such as Instagram. In fact, these ads may bombard you with tempting tablets for days on end, potentially only ending once the purchase is made. Moreover, related ads may continue to haunt you even after a purchase. Now that the ad company knows you just purchased a new tablet, it can predict you'll be interested in a new case, keyboard, stylus, stand, or screen protector. Professionals suggest intermittently clearing your cookies, resetting your advertising ID, installing an ad blocker, and opting out of ad agreements when possible. Even if you go out of your way to rid your tech of advertising trackers, know this: it is just a matter of time before your browsing gives advertisers just what they need. Number 1, the passage implies that the use of personal technology, A, should be used with caution, B, should be off limits for advertisers, C, leads to undesirable advertisements, or D, is useful for more than just the user. Number 2, the phrase, just what they need, line 27, most directly suggests that purchases made on a personal tech allow advertisers to circumvent cleared cookies and ad blockers. B, ad blockers are just another method of advertising. C, opt-out agreements are useless. D, advertising is perpetual and inescapable. And number 3, it can be reasonably inferred from paragraph 2, lines 6 through 20, that the author believes, A, when a consumer desires something, it is inevitable that he or she will make the purchase. B, Instagram is one of the worst advertising offenders. C, a tablet should have proper accessories. Or D, advertisers know much more about consumer purchasing habits than we might realize. So try to answer these questions and try not to look at the answers on the next page. You can hit pause or whatever. Okay, the answers are D, D, and D. I hope you did well. Good luck on your assignment.